Okay, good afternoon everybody and welcome to this media conference with Aaron Ramsdale. As ever, if you can raise your hand when you have a question and state who you are and the media outlet you're working for. We'll start shortly with Rob Dorset when you're ready.
Thanks, Andy. Hi Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm good, apart from seeing your dart score.
Oh, mate, don't you bring it up as well, please. I've been battered by... Listen, Maddison only scored 4 with his first 2 darts.
Wow. Yeah, there we are.
Yeah, thanks for that. We're live on Sky Sports News now as well, so you've done me again. Listen, congratulations on the call-up. This is your first World Cup. How special does it feel?
It's hard to put into words, really. Especially with it being a World Cup at this time of the year. It's all sort of been thrust upon us, like, quickly. Obviously, the last game of the Premier League and then straight into this, but... yeah, I think once that first game gets kicked off on Sunday, I believe it'll be mega.
Tell me about the Heat Shack. We've seen the tent on the side of the pitch, and I think you guys have nicknamed it the Heat Shack. Is that right?
Is that what right? Okay. Yeah, that's more for the players. Thank you.
The outfield players, I guess.
Yeah. So we've been over there a couple of times, but it's just nice for a bit of shade, and it's obviously got the sort of drier air type thing to cool you down, which is great. And you know, the guys have got a lot of stuff, sort of ice packs, ice vests, which we can use when we're resting. So it's just something which can hopefully give us the added boost.
Has it surprised you how hot it is, and could that be a factor?
No, I knew it was going to be hot. Obviously, been to Dubai on numerous occasions for football or on holiday, so I knew it was going to be hot. But I think adapting to it quick will be the difficult thing. Obviously, for us, it's normally going into Christmas, dark nights and dark mornings. So how quickly we can adapt to the weather is crucial for us.
I wanted to ask you about the competition for places, because you've been in extraordinary form for Arsenal this season. 7 clean sheets, I reckon, in the Premier League already. And yet, Jordan Pickford is squad number 1, and he's been there for the last 2 major tournaments. So how do you see that competition, particularly amongst the goalkeepers?
Fair. I see it as it is. Obviously, squad numbers are squad numbers. He's done extremely well for England, and he's been in fine form for Everton as well. And so is Nick. It's not just me who's racking up the clean sheets, Popey is as well. So, you know, we've got a great bond between the goalkeeping group especially, and Marge looks after it really well. You need all 3 of us to train properly to get the number 1 to its best. So we're all training like a number 1 at the minute, and then it will be difficult for 2 of us to try and flip the switch and help out, but it's something which me and Popey, and a little bit less Jordan, but me and Popey definitely have done before. So whoever gets that first game will have full support from the group, and then you never know with tournament football, anything can happen, and you've just got to be ready if called upon.
Hi Aaron,
Hi.
Alex Howell, BBC. How do you feel about the way your career is going at the moment, top of the Premier League with Arsenal and now coming away to your first World Cup?
Yeah, obviously there's times where you have them pinch yourself moments, and you speak to my mum and dad or my missus, and you know it's a really good place to be in, especially after the first few years of my career, learning my trade in difficult situations, sort of getting writ off and whatnot. So it's really enjoyable at the minute, and it's sort of that hard work you reap your rewards for, and I'm here now, and that doesn't mean anything, to be fair. So I've got to try and keep going to either get into the team and stay here.
How would you look back on those hard times now? Does it make all those times worth it?
Yeah, 100%. I've learned so much in terms of different experiences, you know. I'm now learning the side of the game of being towards the top of the table, playing in bigger games, playing in Europe, being in the England squad. But these tough moments where, you know, certain people have a different outlook, and I've been able to see from the other side. It's a game of football, so I've been able to live my life as well. I think if I was too emotionally involved with the football, I'd have struggled to mentally carry on. So it's something which I really needed. I wouldn't have liked to have happened twice, but it did. But yeah, now I'm sitting here and I have sort of that strong backbone, which fundamentally is my base.
And your dad, we saw in the Arsenal documentary, is really involved in your career and seemed quite emotional when you play. What was his reaction when you got called up to this squad, and how do you think he'll cope if you do take to the field?
I think there's definitely a few tears shed from him. I think if I actually make it on the pitch, I think he might not return home. I think he might have a heart attack, but you know, it's special for my family and especially for my mum and dad, who have drove up and down the country, flied all around the world. So yeah, he'll be by. He won't have any nails left. Let's put it that way.
Hi, Aaron. Jack Pitbrook from The Athletic. There's always a lot of speculation at the start of every World Cup about the ball. Have you guys been training with the World Cup ball, and how has it felt to you?
Yeah, it's probably one of the better Adidas balls which I have played with. I've never felt another World Cup ball, so I can't go off that. But I've played with Adidas balls before and the European Championship balls and stuff. So it seems fine to me. It seems like it's got better for goalkeepers as well as keeping it for the strikers. So yeah, hopefully there'll be lots of saves, but also lots of goals as well.
Have Marge or Gareth or anyone said anything to you about issues that have happened with previous balls, like the Jabulani in 2010?
No. That's obviously in the past, and everything changes now. So we trained with it a couple camps ago, so we got used to it then. And then, obviously, being with Arsenal, being Adidas, we've had time to test it as well for FIFA. So I've had quite a lot of exposure to the football.
Hi Aaron, Mark from PA Media. In terms of how you're playing with Arsenal at the moment, you're playing out from the back, and Mikel's put a lot of faith in you and the players. Does that work when you come away with England and Gareth is asking something similar? Does that make that transition from club to international football a bit easier for a goalkeeper?
Yeah, it definitely helps. It won't be the same style, but still the principle is the same. You still play in the same way. It was definitely a lot more difficult when I was younger, playing for when I coming through the academy at Sheffield United in League One, playing longer, and then coming to the youth ages at England, and you have to play out. That's a lot more difficult. But what's great now is all three goalkeepers are playing, and the other two might not play to the extent which Arsenal do, but they're all asked to play out. So when we come here, it is easier to transition and work our way into the training week.
I think it's fair to say 18 months ago when you went to the Euros, you maybe just squeaked into that squad. You'd just been relegated from the Premier League. Now, do you feel like a bona fide member of the squad? And is your mindset different now you come here as a member of a team that's 5 points clear at the top of the table?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was, first of all, very fortunate to be in the Euros team anyway, through an injury to Dean, which was unfortunate for him, but allowed me to go and experience it. And yeah, at that point, I just not felt like a spare part, but I was there to enable the team to carry on training with a full squad. And now you come here now and you're in the same sort of conversation of playing or not playing, and you definitely feel like, as you said, I cemented myself into the squad at this moment in time, and obviously that can get taken away as quickly as I got it, but at this World Cup I do feel like a strong member of the squad.
Hi Aaron, James Ollie from ESPN. I just want to ask you about Bukayo Saka. after what he went through following the Euro final, you've obviously seen it for club and country, how he's processed that. Could you just talk a bit about how he's handled it from your perspective?
Try and find the right words. Impeccably, probably. The kid's a lovely boy. He has time for everyone. Works super hard throughout every week. Very, very rarely misses a training session, and he used all that motivation of criticism, but also more so the love which everyone gave him an extra boost. And don't forget, he had sort of the pressure of the whole football club on him last year. Sort of him and Emile Smith-Rowe were our two sort of main guys, and he's dealt with that. He's dealt with everything else, and he's thriving now. And I can't wait to see him take this stage and thriving over here.
Mikel talked a lot about how you, the players, sort of supported him through that. What sort of role did you play in that?
More through the criticism side. It's probably the first time he received it. Obviously, as we touched on, I got relegated, and signing for Arsenal was a difficult period. So I was able to sort of talk him through that, and also when we missed out on the top four, and he felt like it was all his fault because he couldn't provide for us. I was just able to help him reflect that the season before they finished 8th. This season we finished 5th, and if we go another step again, we'll be in the top 4. So it's that perspective of it's a game of football, and there's a lot more to it.
It's obviously an awful thing for him to go through, but do you feel he's a stronger character sort of for it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. Off the pitch and on it, he's more a complete person.
And just on a completely different topic, we're asking a few goalkeepers about how they got into it, growing up. Did you always want to be a goalkeeper, or did it choose you, or did you choose it?
No, I wanted to get as much mud on my clothes as possible, so goalkeeping was that the way forward for me. And yeah, I played in goal, played outfield for school and stuff, and enjoyed it with my friends. But yeah, from 6, 7, I was a goalkeeper.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hiya.
How are you? You were talking about the tough times and coming up through the leagues, yourself and Ben White now in an England World Cup squad. Can you talk us through those early moments of your career and sitting down and watching telly together, and what it means now to be in a World Cup squad? A lot of people have heard this story, but the details, please.
I was just an 18-year-old kid who moved to Bournemouth on my own. His family are from around there, and luckily one of my friends from Bournemouth at the time went on loan to Newport with him. We became really close and spent Saturday nights out partying and Sunday afternoons watching movies at my flat in Bournemouth. So it started like that, and we went to sort of the same league at the same time, played against each other, and it's just one of them crazy things. You kind of feel like you'll lose touch with them people. You've only probably been with him for 3 years, and then I move, and he's at Brighton, and then somehow you're in the England squad together at the Euros. You then sign for the club at the same time, and then you're here. It's special, and it's special to have that person which every single day I can pick up on his feelings, he pick up on mine. So if we're down or you need space, whatever, it's that one person who you're closest to.
What are the odds on that?
Yeah, very slim. Probably less slim than Mason and Declan, but I reckon we're up there.
Bromance off. Right?
Bromance off, yeah.
And can you describe what's happening in that hotel? I've been told it's lots of outdoor spaces. Despite the heat, that's all. Can you explain to us what it's like? Because we can't get in there, security's a bit tight.
No, it's lovely what the FA and the team behind the team have done for us. We've got a basketball net up which gets played a lot. There's big screens around for movies or I'm a Celeb and things like this if the lads are up at that time. Big tents where all the massages are, so there's a real good sort of like a little village almost inside the walls. We're having so much fun already, and it's just great that, as I said, the team behind the team have done so well for us, and it's really keeping us at home. Fine touches of photos and things in our rooms, our family. So it means the world, yeah.
Inflatables out already?
They were out today. So the pool at the hotel's not as big as the one here. So the unicorns, I'm pretty sure I've seen Bukayo on it again and Declan. So there might be some pictures of them coming out.
Scooped you, FA. And I want to talk about a bit of football. Who do you think's the toughest player you've ever faced?
Oh. I've always said Jamie Vardy I've hated playing against because he never gives up. I remember playing against him for Bournemouth and we were 4-1 up about 3 minutes ago and he was still charging me down on a back pass. And the other is probably Aguero. I only got to play him the once, but I think he had 3 chances and scored 2, so you can never sort of write him off. He was always poaching in and around the box, so I'll say Jamie Vardy.
And we know Iran are incredibly tough defensively. Probably have a good 5 at the back. So set pieces are going to be important. How are penalties going?
We haven't done any with goalkeepers at the minute. We have something which is called a skills net where the corners are open at the moment. I think the lads are just working on sort of the technique. I think it can become detrimental if they're taking them against goalkeepers because we then start to know where they're going and we can start to gamble a little bit, especially when we don't want to get scored on all the time. So the later rounds, I think we'll start seeing them introduced into more pressurised ones with the goalkeepers.
He's giving Harry the run for the money in terms of goal-scoring abilities because I know there's a fear of being too reliant on him, but you're up against that whole strike force in England. How powerful are they?
Very powerful. I think if you take the front 4 out and changed it with another front 4, I don't think the levels would drop at all. Of course, we need Harry to be scoring, but we also need 14 other players to hopefully chip in. Marcus has come back into the squad and looks a breath of fresh air, and Bukayo's carrying on his form. Everyone's got the bit between their teeth, so everyone wants to play that first game, so training is intense.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a few over here now. Jerry?
Hi Aaron, Jerry Cox from Haters TV. Just want to go back to 2018. I believe you've been at Chesterfield on loan. I just wonder where you were watching the World Cup and what your reactions were when, say, Eric Dyer put that penalty away against Colombia and so on.
So I was, it was the summer. Oh God. So it was the summer. So I was in Ayia Napa watching the first game at Lineker's bar with my friends. That was crazy because obviously H scored the last minute header. That was an eventful night. I watched one at a fan zone in Weymouth, and then the Colombia game I watched with, it was like the day before pre-season, so I was with my group of friends who me and Ben White know round their house, and yeah, as you can imagine, there was a lot of cheering in the front room, and I still get goosebumps now thinking I weren't even there, and it was a real special night.
Hey Aaron, it's Joe Wardrop here from ITV News. I appreciate you and the rest of the squad were unlikely to enjoy a Budweiser at any of the stadiums, but is this a bit of a shame for the travelling fans, or is there more to football than beer?
I think the fans will find some way of having a beer. I don't think you need to do it so much at the game. Hopefully, with them not being able to drink, we can perform on the pitch to give them that sort of excitement and buzz. But we also have to respect the rules and continue to work. So we'll put pressure on ourselves to entertain from the football pitch.
I'm Pierre from newspaper L'Equipe. I got the feeling that since 6 months ago, England was one of the very favourites of the World Cup. No, it's not that clear because of the result of the League Nations. So I was wondering in which extent the recent result of England has affected the confidence of the squad.
No confidence has been affected. If anything, it's given us more motivation. You know, you talk about teams coming to the World Cup for the first time in a long time, or added motivation for them to play England, but we've got added motivation to turn our form around and put them results behind us. So we're going into this with full of confidence, knowing how good we are.
Hi Aaron, Joe from Sky News. You've come a long way from Chesterfield when I was interviewing you then. Arsenal top of the league. Is there an extra air of confidence with yourself and the other Arsenal members of the squad walking around, and has there been any banter between yourselves and some of the Manchester City players and others?
It's obviously a lovely position that we sit in, and I think our confidence is just high because of obviously what's happened so far and where we are right now. The banter has mostly come from Connor, Cody and Trent. They keep walking around pretending I've said 5 points clear every day, just trying to wind me up. But it is healthy at the minute, but no one's really thinking too much about it. Obviously, we're all training really hard, and I think the Premier League side of it's been put on the back burner, as you can imagine. But you know, the conversations about Premier League have died off, which I didn't think would happen as soon. But that's obviously good for the group that we're focusing on a run so quickly.
Thanks, guys. Okay, we'll end the live section there and we'll move on to a short section embargoed until 10:30 p.m. UK time this evening.